the Desert Tiger Podcast.
So, how's BC?
BC is surprisingly beautiful for the middle of January. I mean, normally it is beautiful, but I'm in Kamloops, and normally there's a little more snow in our region, and it's pretty bare right now. So,
Right.
yeah. How's the Saskatchewan?
Well, we have been having a very mild winter so far, and
Yeah.
we're just on the cusp of a cold snap here. So, yeah.
I'm actually originally from just outside Regina, like Fort Qu'Appelle, Indian Head area. So,
Oh, okay.
I,
So
I,
you know,
oh yeah.
yeah, but it's been like seriously, it's been hovering around zero, between +5 and -5 for about 2 months now. So,
Oh wow. So
yeah,
very mild so far.
yeah, for sure.
Oh well, if the first cold snap is in January, then that's a pretty
Pretty,
good Saskatchewan winter.
pretty decent. And out of the 10 years we've been here, this is probably the third winter that's been kind of super mild.
Okay.
We never used to get that before, so I'll
No,
take it.
no, I remember. I remember growing up. It would be even just in the early 2000s, just school buses getting canceled every single year because it's -40, -50, and it's like, where were these when I was in Saskatchewan? Come on now.
Exactly.
Well, as long as you're staying warm, that's what matters.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then, lots of time on your hands, so
Of
I
course,
make the
that's
most of it.
that's the way it is. Makes for a lot of time for writing and creating, though.
Yeah, and then all the other stuff now that goes along with it, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's a lot other steps involved in the process right now.
For sure.
All right. And we're going to dive a little bit into that as we discuss Tucker Lane's new album, Random Fireworks on a Beach Obscured by Trees.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Johnny, are you ready to jump on into it?
I am.
Sick. All right. So, first thing I want to know is obviously this has been a weird past year here, and this album came out on January 15th. So, was this recorded through the pandemic, and when were the songs written as well?
Yeah, it was recorded. So some of the songs were written, the band's been playing some of these songs for a few years live. And then when the lockdown came, the first lockdown, we stopped. We had some gigs booked, and they kind of went away. And then as things kind of unfolded a bit, clubs would call us and say, "Do you want your date? For half the money?" And Leslie was like, "Well, no, I really don't want to invite people out to see us play. If there's a chance, if there's even the slightest chance that someone could get sick by going to a bar to see us play." And then she says, I couldn't bear it. And the guys in the band were all like, "Yeah, okay, we get it." So we just turned down those, offers to play, and solely focused on, during the lockdown, we did a couple of lockdown videos, right? And we put out, we recorded, we started, so let me get started here. Once the lockdown was lifted and we could expand onto our personal bubbles, we added the guys in the band, Warren and Brent, to come, and we started jamming, and we started writing some songs, and it was just like, wow, this was like so great, because we didn't see each other for about 3 months pretty much, and we just sort of had all this energy, and it was so joyful, and we wrote a bunch of songs, and just had the time to record, and spent a lot of time doing that. So it was born out of that, kind of, in a way. I mean, it sped up the process. Otherwise, we'd probably still be tinkering down there, right?
Well, exactly. If you guys are playing shows, you'd be spending a lot more time rehearsing, traveling to the gigs, as opposed to actually being able to spend that time inside of a studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where did you record this album?
We record here in our basement. We have, a computer and a dedicated music room and amps and instruments, and we tracked everything. We track everything here like we've done now for years, and we usually outsource it for mixing. Just because it's nice to have an extra set of ears to hear things differently than you first originally heard them, and we like that. We like the surprises, like the happy accidents that happen, and go, "That's great, that's awesome." And we missed that part. Could you put it back in? But other than that, it's good to have a third person on it. And we had a guy here in Saskatoon named Bart McKay, who's nationally, internationally known guy, and he's right here in Saskatoon. So that worked out awesome too.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Of course, this is Tucker Lane's sophomore album, coming about 5.5, 6 years after the debut. So, how would you say the band has grown sonically and just as a band over that time? Because 5 years is a decent period.
Yeah. So we did that. We did our first album, and just when we got it ready to come out, we manufactured CDs and everything. Our longtime personal friend and manager uh, out of Buffalo had an episode with his heart, and we were kind of like, we love Doug, and we just wanted him to be involved with it. So we kind of waited. We thought like, well, he's survived. He's going to get better, and he'll be able to start, helping us soon. And we didn't want to be callous and just go, we'll find someone else or anything like that. And we kind of waited and didn't really do anything other than just kind of wait. And so 6 months later, the record has been out, and we hadn't really even been doing anything with it. So we kind of lost any sort of momentum that we had with it, and we just sort of kind of let it be and just went back to our playing gigs and doing stuff like that. Leslie and I took on a project with another local girl here named Jillian Snyder, and we did Leslie and Jillian wrote an album's worth of material together, and we recorded that and put that out. And then, we worked with some other local artists here, writing and recording them as well, and just kept playing. And we kind of were like, wow, we got to get this. And it was kind of seemingly always on the back burner, the Tucker Lane album. So when the opportunity came, and we got some grant money from Creative Saskatchewan here to record the album, it was like, let's go, let's do this and get her done. And it was a long time coming, but it happened kind of quickly once we started.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Glad to hear, and shout out to Creative Saskatchewan for supporting amazing music.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Cheers.
Cheers. Agreed. So, this album definitely has an eclectic sound to it. So, is that just naturally where the band is at right now, or is that sort of just from over the years of playing in so many different genres and style of music? Is that just where you are as musicians now, where you're just playing what you want?
More or less. I think the first album we had a more of a conscious effort to try and sound country. We were playing around town in a cover band with the same guys, and people would always come up to us and say, do you guys play any country? Do you play any country? And we were like, I just spent 30 years in Toronto, and Leslie's from Toronto. Not to say that that's like a country-free zone or anything like that, but the music we were playing was a lot different. It was more rock and roll and pop, right? And Universal Honey albums were like that. But Doug, our manager, again, would say, you guys' songs are just like one twang away from a country song. Have you ever considered doing any country records? That was back when we were still living in Toronto. We were like, not at the moment. We don't really. But so now Leslie grew up a Rolling Stones fan, right? So, and they leaned on, American music and Graham Parsons, and there's a lot of country influence in the Rolling Stones. You can hear it on their records. And I grew up in Saskatoon, so back in the day, there was one radio station kind of that played, you'd hear Aerosmith and Dolly Parton, Tie a Yellow Ribbon and Creedence on the same channel, right? And so, you'd go to a family party and someone would break out an accordion and a fiddle. So you grew up with that. So um, there was always that in both of our backgrounds. And then, through the 90s, there was a sort of alt country scene with like Uncle Tupelo, Wilco, the Jayhawks. And before that, even in the 80s, the California sort of Paisley Underground with Long Riders and True West. Mazzy Star came out of that sort of scene. So we were always kind of had listened to it. But like I said, with the first album, it was a little more of a conscious effort to like, okay, well, let's be a country rock band. And we put a lot of fiddle and banjo and stuff on it and really presented it with that as an emphasis. And this time we sort of used it more as just a finishing, brushstroke of color on the songs. It wasn't mostly, it was woven into the song rather than featured on the song. So having been with these guys now, Brent I've known since we were in grade 6. We've been playing together for 9 years. The drummer that we have now is an awesome drummer, a great guy, and he sings really awesome. His name's Warren Metternach, and he's been with us now going on over 3 years. So we played a lot of shows, and we're a little bit older, so we know what we're walking into, and we're really comfortable as a band, right? So there's not a lot of guesswork when it comes to what's he going to play, where am I? It's really a tight, cohesive unit at this moment. So we just put these songs together, and I guess that sort of sound, when we first got asked to be doing any country, we started playing like, okay, well, we should maybe start and learn some. So we learned some Steve Earle, Cindy Williams, Miranda Lambert song and stuff like that. And it kind of sort of started kind of creeping into the way we presented all of our songs. Became a little more like, well, let's just do them like that in a rootsy kind of way. So the long answer there, I guess, is it's kind of where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it kind of creates that it fits that random firework vibe for sure.
Absolutely. So that's another story in itself. We just thought that they were, I don't know. We went up to the lake this summer, and when we got there, someone had started firing off fireworks on the beach. It was just so random because it wasn't a civic holiday. It wasn't July 1st or July 4th or anything like that. People typically fire off fireworks, and it was just very random. And I got my phone out and I started taking pictures, and they were just kind of going above the trees, and we couldn't see the beach, and that was that. And then we were working on the record, and the time came to think of a title for the album, and I was looking through my phone, and it just was. I said, "Oh, remember that night when there was all those random fireworks on the beach, and they were obscured by trees?" And it just sort of flowed off my tongue. And Leslie's like, "I said, I think that's the title of the album." And she's like, "I like that. I like that." And so it kind of stuck.
Nice.
And then we kind of correlated it to like all the songs are a little sort of little explosions of joy. They're all different in their own way, but a thing of beauty nonetheless. So.
All right, well, let's jump into some of those explosions, those things of beauty. So you released a single the same day that the record came out entitled Ghost. And you're actually releasing a music video for that track as well. So let's dive a little bit behind Ghost and then into the music video.
All right. So the song Ghost was one of our more recent written songs. Leslie and I wrote that. And it was kind of like came out of the feeling like, things have changed so much this year. I used to go out a lot and go see bands and meet friends and stuff. And we played a lot of shows, and we were very social. But so we just all of a sudden that dried up, and nobody sees us, and we don't see anybody. It's like we're ghosts, right? So we're just like memories right now in a lot of people's minds. It's like you don't have that physical contact, which I think we're all kind of missing. So it was kind of just a play on the words, what a ghost really is, and how it sort of is kind of how we're feeling at the moment.
exist, yet the memories persist. Why did I leave? Where did I go? I used to like to make my presence known. And when the cupboards bang and twilight shadows tease, will you still remember me? Will you keep holding on to a ghost? A ghost. I'm a ghost. I'm not here. You think you see me and feel me near, but when I go and don't come back, you have to accept this as fact. And when the cupboards bang and twilight shadows tease, will you still remember me? Will you keep holding on to a ghost? A ghost. And when the cupboards bang and twilight shadows tease, will you still remember me? Will you keep holding on to a ghost? A ghost. I'm a
Okay. And then for the music video, how did that come together? Who shot it? And what was sort of the vibe you were sort of trying to give with that?
Well, we wanted to sort of reflect the isolation and the loneliness that I think so many of us are feeling right now. So we shot it on black and white with a guy here in town named Kevin Sick, who has a company called K-Sick Productions, who's awesome. He's awesome to work with. He's an awesome guy. He's a musician. He's a drummer, and he's a friend of the band's. So we just sort of came up with this idea where everybody would be in their own room, right, alone. You know, even though it was the same room, we tried to make it look different with a little bit of minimalist sort of props. And the minimalism sort of just would also hint at the, you know, the loneliness, and everybody had something that they liked, you know, like looking at a picture, or I had an album and stuff like that. And the band was never really together. There's one shot where we were actually together in the at the end of the video when there's a door that opens up. I think it actually premieres today on Canadian Beats, the video, so you can check it out there. And that's when we were all together. But when we were filming the individual performance shots, when Brent had to come do his, I mean, Leslie wasn't there, and it was just me, and, you know, we wore masks. I think you can see even Brent's mask, and he's playing the guitar, and same with Warren. If you get a little bit of his face, you can see the masks. But it was really dark, and sort of just sort of focus lighting on the instrument with the hands of the player, not really showing anything, you know, personal again, the face, sort of keeping it sort of minimalist. And then we shot it in at a studio up here in Saskatoon, and again, everybody was solitary in their shots, so we had to work around that, and I think it actually kind of helped with the vibe of the song. So we couldn't cheat. We couldn't really cheat and get together and go, here's the band. Yeah. So,
Hey, you still made the most of what you had, right?
right.
Exactly. All right. And then, of course, another one of the singles, the first single that you released off of this album last year in August, was Paper Wings, a very energetic song, one I'm definitely vibing to. So take us behind Paper Wings.
All right. So Leslie had met this girl named Lindsay Citron in Toronto. She was a daughter of a guy she knew, and she was really young at the time. I think she wanted to be a singer-songwriter, and she actually moved to Nashville, and she'd sent Leslie these songs that she'd written, and Leslie just really listened to them and, I thought they were good. But one day, Leslie says, I was in the shower and I got this little, Bluetooth waterproof Bose speaker in the shower, and I was listening probably to, for a while this last summer, I was just hooked on Shot of Love by Bob Dylan. And I don't know, there was a song on there, and she said, I just felt inspired, and I grabbed the guitar, and I didn't have any lyrics, so I just grabbed the lyrics from one of Lindsay's songs, and I just wrote this song to it. So that's how it came to be. The lyrics are really, really beautiful lyrics. I think Lindsay did a great job. Tells a story about falling in love and being and what that potentially could be, because love is, as we all know, very unpredictable.
Very, very much so. Oh, wow. Yes. So it's kind of fun that a former continued collaborator, continues to help inspire this band.
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. All right. So during this past year as well, the band released a campfire sessions, doing a few different videos throughout 2020. So what was that like? And I know that it's difficult to do so right now with things closing back down, but is there any plans on doing more performance videos of the new album going forward?
Yeah, for sure. I think we're still sitting on a couple of songs from the summer that are off this album. Like I said, some of them we were playing before. That I think in the next week or two there'll be a couple more from the campfire sessions that are actually on Random Fireworks that will be coming out. We did 2 nights, one night in July and one night in August in the backyard. And again, that was just born out of, let's play, let's set up in the backyard and play, right? And at that time, the gathering was for 30 people. Mm-hmm. I think the first night there was 4 of us in the band and a guy that was capturing the sound, and Kevin with his cameras. And then I think total we had like 22, 23 people in the backyard, and they were spaced out. It's a big backyard. And we thought, like, that was great. So we just, mixed it, cut it up, and put them out as individual songs on our YouTube channel. And then we thought, well, that was great. Let's do it again for Universal Honey, because we're going to be putting out a Universal Honey EP. So let's just, the guys are the same guys, but it's just a different project name. And we did it again. And so we've been doing that with the Universal Honey songs as well. So, but yeah, I think that, early spring, once it warms up in the spring, I definitely think we'll do that again, maybe in a bit larger scope. Maybe we'll set up a little mini stage in the backyard and do the whole band live rather than acoustically. We'll probably do something like that. And we're doing a live streaming on February 15th. That's going to be live at the Long Branch here in Saskatoon. And that's going to be, again, we're using Kevin Sick, and we're gonna do that. So, and then we got another one planned for a little later on. So we're just going to try like once a month, maybe try and do something live related to the record, and then just keep churning out the social media pictures and little snippets of songs and the campfire sessions.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Glad to hear. Glad to hear. Continuing to stay engaged and keeping to give the fans who can't see you live at least a chance to see you in some form.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives us something to do as well.
Very true. Very true. All right. So, in researching the band, I see that you guys had moved back to Saskatoon in order to sort of slow things down, raise your son, and just sort of experience some other parts of life. So, now that your son has grown up a little bit more, how is he sort of like acclimatizing? How do you feel that his impressions of watching these storied musicians who also happen to be his parents continue to write new chapters?
He, well, part of the reason we're getting busier now is because he is 14. He's more durable. You can you don't have to put him in a case to carry him around. He can actually come with you and contribute to, like, hey, grab that guitar and carry it. And he's quite willing to do so. And he thinks it's awesome that his mom and dad are musicians. We've sort of not even pushed him, but he on his own, joined the school band, plays trumpet. They put out a call for the school jazz band, and he said, I'm going to play bass. So he started playing bass in the school jazz band. He's, very independent. We bought him FL Studios because he wanted to learn how to, create his own music. So he's currently, tried to, can I show you something? Can I help you? And he goes, no, I want to figure it out on my own. So he's watching YouTube videos and tutorials on FL Studios, but he's, we did our best. I think we got him into the Beatles and into the Stones and into the Who, and all the classic rock is his foundation. But, as he got older, he got into rap and hip hop, and now he's all over the map. He listens to jazz and krautrock. Faust is one of his favorite bands, and he's actually turning me on to some new music too, which is pretty cool. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so he's totally into music. I don't know what he's going to do with it. I'm sure he's going to be back in high school next year, and I'm sure someone will have a band going, and he'll probably want to join it or something like that. But
well, maybe one day when he's releasing music and touring the world, I can interview him as well.
Sure.
All right. So before I ask my last question here, where can the listeners of the podcast, The Ambush, find out more about Tucker Lane?
Well, we have all the social medias, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Those are the big three, I guess, that we most use. We have a YouTube channel, Tucker Lane. There's a YouTube channel on Tucker Lane. We put out all our videos and all our stuff there. So that's the best way to track us down, I guess. On Spotify and all the streaming services now have all the music. We're just going to be ordering some USBs and some CDs, and further down the road, I know that all of us would like to have this record on vinyl, so it's probably labor of love that we're going to make some vinyl. It'll probably be a short run, just so, because it is very expensive. So that'll be coming out hopefully late spring as well. So, and then I guess now, we're heading back into, it's not quite as a severe lockdown here right now, but you don't know what's going to happen. So we've been doing some remote kind of rehearsing and trying to get our head around how to abide with the health guidelines and, still get together and jam. So, masks will be in order and more of that. But we're ready to go. Just say when, and as soon as everybody's vaccinated and we've got to the tipping point where it's generally regarded as safe to go out and play, then we're ready.
Awesome, and I can't wait for that. But until that, Here's my last question. We've talked about how Tucker Lane has progressed, how you have grown as a musician. But Johnny, I want to know how the last 5 years, how Tucker Lane, how this last album, how has it helped you grow, or what has it taught you about yourself?
Oh God. Well, it's just the tried and true stuff, I guess. It's just a reinforcement of the fact that if you, if you want to, you can, right? And if people want to be in your life, they will be, right? So it sort of made us closer. I certainly have more, I don't know if respect is the right word, but certainly more, there's a lot of things I miss that I realize about myself that I guess that I miss a lot. I miss seeing people, in numbers, and I miss crowds, and but as far as being, what have I learned about myself? I guess it's, it's been a great exercise in patience. It's been a great exercise in patience. And, you set something on the calendar and, you used to be like, I can't wait. But now it's like, it just kind of comes, and patient and wait, and good things happen, I guess. So I've accepted that patience is a virtue, really is. And, not he who hesitates is lost, but patience is a virtue. So, it's been a great exercise in that.
Awesome. Fantastic. Great answer. And I just want to say thank you
Thank you
very much for joining me.
Yeah, this is cool.
When eyes meet and hearts collide, and you think that fate is on your side, when things are perfect and brand new, when you do it for the thrill of the chase, and you have to be in first place, and you think every dream has come true. Love's not
The Desert Tiger Podcast.